Right, so let's get into it. Okay, so we're in the power of awareness. Okay, Neville Goddard, the power of awareness, and Station. I'm just gonna make you a moderator while you're here. Oh, you're already a moderator. Okay, that's cool. Of course you're a moderator. Of course you are. What's up, Rizzo? Okay, all right. So you guys, let's get into it. We're reading chapter 4. No, chapter 6, the power of awareness with Neville Goddard. Okay, let's get into it, you all. So a double-minded man, and I have to keep not hitting that. A double minded man is unstable in all his ways. Coming out the gate swinging. James 1 and 8. Attention is forceful in proportion to the narrowness of its focus. That is, when it is obsessed with a single idea or a sensation. It is steadied and powerfully focused only by such an adjustment of the mind as permits you to see one thing only. For you steady the attention and increase its power by confining it. The desire which realizes itself is always a desire upon which attention is exclusively concentrated. For an idea is endowed with power only in proportion to the degree of attention fixed on it. Concentrated observation is the attentive attitude directed towards some specific end. The attentive attitude involves selection, for when you pay attention, it signifies that you have decided to focus your attention on one object or state rather than another. Therefore, when you know what you want, you must deliberately focus your attention on the feeling of your wish fulfilled until that feeling fills the mind and crowds all other ideas out of consciousness. I love that part, you guys. Okay. There's a few things that I want to, you know, to bring out, okay, on this one, okay? Therefore, when you know what you want, number one, okay, if you're taking any type of notes or whatever, when you know what you want, that's first. Okay, you got to know what you want. And I think I say this, each and every week, right? Your first work, your job is to decide, to make a decision, right? Make a decision. Okay, and trust yourself that you make great decisions, right? So it's like all these things that crowd our minds um, when we think about making a decision, right? And so therefore you know it when you know what you want, you must deliberately focus your attention on the feeling of your wish fulfilled until that feeling fills the mind and crowds all other ideas out of consciousness. The power of attention is the measure of your inner force. Concentrated observation of one thing shuts out other things and causes them to disappear. The greatest secret of success is to focus the attention on the feeling of the wish fulfilled without permitting any distraction. I told you guys, Neville Goddard also talked about denying the evidence of your senses. Okay, and I said, whenever there's something that comes, that doesn't look like what you desire, you have to deny the evidence of your senses. So that's why he said the greatest secret of success is to focus the attention on the feeling of the wish fulfilled without permitting any distraction. And I do want to share with you guys some things in regards that this week was very enlightening and learned some things. Hi, Tommy. Welcome. A cold stream whispered. Well, welcome, Tommy. We're glad to have you here. We're talking about Neville Goddard, the power of awareness. And so that's what I'm actually reading from and sharing with you guys my ideas. But I do have some things some enlightenment that happened this week that I do want to share with you guys that I was studying around Neville Goddard and his ideas and stuff. Okay. So all progress depends upon an increase of attention. The ideas which impel you to action are those which dominate the consciousness, those which possess the attention. This is really important, you guys. The ideas which impel you to action are those which dominate the consciousness, those which possess the attention, what you put your attention on. What you give energy to, what you give energy to, that is what you're going to, that's what you're going to manifest. The dominating thoughts of your mind, the dominating thoughts. What's the dominating thoughts of my mind? What am I dominantly thinking about all the time? Okay. And I was, my little sister sent me a video of a lady was saying that like there's no such thing as a block. Like people say, oh my God, I have a block. I have a block in my finances. I have a block in love. I have a love block. I have this block. I have that block. And it's like, you don't have a block. You have a block when you say you have a block, and you have and that's a dominant thought that you have some kind of block, then yeah, you have a block. Right? And the moment you decide I don't have any blocks, there are absolutely no blocks. How can consciousness, how can God have blocks? And I'm created in the image and the likeness of God. So how do I have a block when I'm created in the image and likeness of God? I'm like, no, there's no blocks. I don't have a love block. I don't have a money block. I don't have any blocks. I don't, right? And the only work for me is to decide what I want, right? And crowd out anything else that comes that doesn't look like what I want. It's like, no, 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 that's not. Deny the evidence of my senses. Deny the evidence of my senses. The evidence, right? I think like the Bible talks like faith is the evidence of things hoped for, and faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things that are not seen. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of the unseen. Right? So, all progress depends upon an increase of attention. The ideas which impel you to action are those which dominate the consciousness, those which possess the attention. This one thing I do, forgetting those things that are behind, I press toward the mark. Neville Goddard was definitely into the Bible. And Neville Goddard taught the Bible from a psychology standpoint, psychological, metaphysical standpoint, as opposed to teaching the Bible as a history book. Okay, so Neville Goddard does not teach the Bible as a history book, right? Neville taught the Bible from a metaphysical perspective. So consciousness is all that there is. The one thing I do, this one thing I do, forget those things that are behind. So rewrite, revision. When he talks about revision, right? He talks about revision, and he talks about revising the past, revising what happened. There's no past. It's like it's over, it's done. So forget about it. But most of us, what we'll do is that we'll like give you guys an example, like with a business. So we're like, oh my goodness, you know what? I want to be a business owner. I want to be an entrepreneur. And then for those of us that have done business before, we've tried business before, we've failed at business before, right? Then we will start to think about the business failures. And now our body remembers, and our body is designed to keep us safe. That's something that I've been working with on this week, was about nervous system regulation. And why did Neville, okay, I'm gonna teach you guys something lots of folks don't talk about about the law of assumption. Why did Neville talk about the state of the wish, the state akin to sleep? Okay, the state akin to sleep. And the reason why he told you to do imagination when you were falling asleep is because when you're at that theta point, that's called theta, you're not fighting, your body is not fighting an idea that you would try to introduce to it. Okay. And so, and you can do this in the morning time, because you can learn how to get your body into theta, right? You can do that, and you can do it in the morning. I tend to do it in the morning when I first wake up, and so that's why Joe Dispenza says, hey, don't break in the habit of being yourself. Don't wake up in the morning. The first thing you do is grab your phone. Why? Because you are losing the most valuable time of your life going to doom scroll. Right. And so once you first wake up, what you want to do is you want to now introduce a new idea to introduce a new state at that particular time. So one of the things that I do in the morning time to like the state of the wish fulfilled, okay, the state akin to sleep, because I'm just kind of waking up out of sleep. So it's a state akin to sleep. I think it's SATS, state akin to sleep, SATS, SAT is what Neville Goddard taught. Okay, you can do this in the morning. You can do this when you get ready to go to bed at night. But what you want to do is first is regulate your nervous system. Okay, so first is nervous system regulation, because your body is usually in like fight or flight and stuff, and so you want to slow down your breathing, right? Slow down your breathing and stuff like that. And then you want to regulate your breathing, bring it down. And so now your body is more receptive to a new idea. Okay. So you can bypass your conscious mind, okay, and get to your subconscious level. But there's certain times when you can actually do this. Okay. I was looking for, oh, you know what? Because I actually printed out, okay. Thank you, Phil. I actually printed out this, and I have it inside the School of Invisible Income. It's for women only. So let me just say that the school is for women only. But it's a 3-minute rewire. All right, it's a 3-minute rewire. So here's what I'm gonna do. Let me finish. I'm gonna finish chapter 6. Okay. And then after I'm done with chapter 6, then I'm going to go in and I'm going to talk to you guys about the state akin to sleep and how can you actually rewire, because it's like your mind can want something, your mind is, can want higher things, but if your body is rejecting it, okay, then that's why most people can't manifest things. But you're gonna manifest all the time, but it's like what you really desire, your body doesn't feel safe with that desire. And so therefore it's going to constantly, what we like to call self-sabotage, okay? Self-sabotage, that's what it looks like, but it's really your brain saying that is not safe. I do not feel safe with that. Okay? So let's go here. So this one thing I do, forgetting those things that are behind, I press toward the mark. This means this one thing you can do. And sometimes he writes something, I'll be like, what? This means you. Okay, no. This means you. This one thing you can do. Forgetting those things that are behind. You can press toward the mark of fulfilling your mind with the feeling of the wish fulfilled. To the unenlightened man, this will seem to be to be all in fantasy. To the unenlightened man, this will seem to be all fantasy. Yet, all progress comes from those who do not take the accepted view nor accept the world as it is. I'll read that again. You guys got to get that, okay? Okay. It says, yet all progress comes from those who do not take the accepted view nor accept the world as it is. Listen, you guys, if you look at our world right now, okay, we are riding around in electric vehicles, where people are plugging up these vehicles and using electricity, right? And actually now charging cars where we used to have gas. And that was the only thing that we actually knew was cars that needed gas. I'm sure before then, you guys, we've come through different modes of transportation. At one point, they were riding on on horses. So they were doing horseback riding, okay? Before that, they were walking. Before that, I don't know what they were doing, right? But we have someone did not accept the world's view, and they said, you know what? I think we can do this a little bit different. I think we can do this better, right? And so you can see in our world where people have not accepted the world's view, and they have created something that now we accept. That's just the way it is, okay? As we stated here, 2:4. If you can imagine what you please, and if the forms of your thought are vivid as the forms of nature, you are by virtue of the power of your imagination, master of your fate. You guys, that right there is like, we can end the broadcast and you can have a good life. Okay. so listen, if you can imagine what you please, so that's why I say, and I'll talk about it more about the state akin to sleep and how to use your imagination to impress something different upon it. So if you can imagine what you please, and if the forms of your thought are as vivid as the forms of nature, so it's got to be as vivid as like this paper, right? So when you imagine this, it's got to be as vivid as like nature. It's like natural things, paper and stuff like that, whatever, right? You are by virtue of the power of your imagination. You are by virtue of the power of your imagination, something that you were born with. So that's why I say you're always manifesting. You got everything you need in you to manifest from the day you were born. You don't need a technique. You don't need any type of 369. And I think that's all amazing. You don't need any of that. You just need to use the power of your imagination and imagine a different world for yourself. And that's just how simple it is. But many people will fight and say, oh, no, Keysha, it's got to be more to than that. I got to do this. I got to do more than that. Okay, well, then go do more than that. You're a free will agent here in this world. You can go and work hard. Go ahead and do it, right? It's like no one's going to stop you. No one's going to, you say, hey, if you want to fight for your limitations, then all you got are your limitations. Go for it. Have a great life. Okay? Struggle and do all that. So if you can, you are by virtue of the power of your imagination, master your fate. Your imagination is you yourself, and the world as your imagination sees it is the real world. I'm gonna repeat that again, very slow. Your imagination is you yourself, and the world as your imagination sees it is the real world. It's all you. Okay? It's you. When you set out to master the movements of attention, which must be done if you would successfully alter the course of observed events, it is then you realize how little control you exercise over your imagination and how much it is dominated by sensory impressions and by a drifting on the tidal of idle moods. Anyways. To aid in mastering the control of your attention, practice this exercise. Okay, so this is where he's going to give us the exercise to practice. And many of you all may not know, but I'm reading this right now. I've never read the book before. I'm reading it right now, and I'm just giving to you what's being downloaded to me. And we're doing this together. Okay. So to aid in mastering the control of your attention, practice this exercise. If you're going to practice the exercise, drop a 1 in the comments. Those of you guys who are watching the replay, you're going to practice the exercise. Just drop a 1. Night after night, okay? This is night after night, just before you drift off to sleep, strive to hold your attention on the activities of the day in reverse order. Focus your attention on the last thing you did, that is, getting into bed, and then move it backward in time over the events until you reach the first event of the day, getting out of bed. This is no easy exercise, but just as specific exercises greatly help in developing specific muscles, this will greatly help in developing the muscle of your attention. Your attention must be developed, controlled, and concentrated in order to change your concept of yourself successfully and thereby change your future. Celeste codes 930. You're in. Okay, awesome. Right? And if you notice, you all, attention is something that we all struggle with right about now. Social media, we can't even sit and watch a TV show anymore. It's 30 minutes, y'all. And we are we have so much coming at us all the time that many of us can't even sit down and read a book. Our attention span is just, and I think they were like making some kind of joke. I don't know how they measured this, but right, they were saying like our attention span is like about shorter than a goldfish or something like that, right? But it's interesting how a book that was written this many years ago is telling you now is that your attention is where the magic is for you and being able to control it, right? So here's an exercise again. Night after night, just before you drift off to sleep, strive to hold your attention on the activities of the day in reverse order. Focus your attention on the last thing you did, that is getting into bed, and then move it backward in time over the events until you reach the first event of the day, getting out of bed. This is no easy exercise, but just as specific exercises greatly help in developing specific muscles, this will greatly help in developing the muscle of your attention. Your attention must be developed, controlled, and concentrated in order to change your concept of yourself successfully and thereby change your future. Imagination is able to do anything, but only according to the internal direction of your attention. If you persist night after night, sooner or later, you will awaken in yourself a center of power and become conscious of your greater self, the real you. Attention is developed by repeated exercise or habit. Through habit, and action becomes easier. And so in course of time gives rise to a facility or faculty which can then be put to higher uses. When you attain control of the internal direction of your attention, you will no longer stand in shallow water, but will launch out into the deep of life. You will walk in the assumption of the wish fulfilled as on a foundation more solid than even earth. Dikash, I am teaching the power of awareness. Neville Goddard. All right. Yeah, that's a word. Well, I'm reading, actually, I should say. I'm not teaching anything. I'm actually reading The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard and just kind of sharing with you guys um, some of my thoughts and stuff as we're reading. One of the things that's very interesting, this chapter is about attention. Okay. And one of the things, the reason why I decided to read this book while on this YouTube channel is because of attention, my own attention, and my own commitment to showing up, okay, each and every week, being consistent and show, and actually, it came out of a decision, right? I decided that I have 100,000 YouTube subscribers. I decided that, okay? I decided I have 500 people in my school. So if you want to join my school community, you can find a link in actually the description, right? So I decided that first of all, I have 100,000 YouTube subscribers. And so I then asked myself, being now, because I am a woman that has 100,000 YouTube subscribers, what am I going to do? How am I going to show up for this actual YouTube channel, for these 100,000 subscribers? How am I going to show up for them? And so one of the things I decided to do, because I wanted to study the law of assumption, I said, you know what? How about I just read this book each and every Sunday, because my commitment is to do a live video once a week, right? So I was like, you know what? I want to read this book anyways. So how about I just read this book and we can all just read the book together. I can share my thoughts and stuff like that. And so now this is what I want to do for my 100,000 YouTube subscribers. See, I made a decision. I didn't wait. I'm not waiting for YouTube numbers to show me 100,000 subscribers. I've already decided that's what I have, right? I've already decided. Yes, you can actually, you can drop a question if you have a question, right? I've already decided that's what I have. So I decided to be the woman first. Be, do, have. Write that down. Be, do, have. I made a decision on who am I going to be first. I am a woman who has 100,000 YouTube subscribers and I have 500 members in my school community. And so therefore, what do I want to do? See how I switched that? Being is first. Being is first. I decided to be someone healthy. Okay. I decided I'm a woman who is healthy. So now out of that, okay, out of that being, what am I going to do? At first I decided I was going to walk. Right. So walk every single day, 10,000 steps a day. And then after that, right, now what do I have? I have a small body. So now people are like, Keysha, you're so skinny. But my skinniness came out of me being first. That's where it started. Okay. Okay. Awesome. 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 Okay. So, so what is your question, Siobhan? I don't understand what your question. I don't know what a PFP is actually. So maybe I don't know what that is. Okay. What is your question about what we're talking about here today? Okay. Um, okay. So that is what I'm asking you. Okay. So let's talk about too, you guys. Go back into what I was saying about the things that I learned about Neville Goddard and the whole law of assumption. So I want to share this with you guys, and it's actually inside the School of Invisible Income. Okay, the school. This is a 3-minute rewire collection, and so what I did was I'm going to read the information to you guys. You can go into this. You can join the School of Invisible Income, and you'll actually get access to this actual document, and you can do this. And I encourage you to do 21 days. Okay. I encourage you to do 21 days of this actual process. All right. So identity shifting, right? This is what we're talking about. Okay. So transformation begins the moment your brain, body, and beliefs agree. This guide introduces you to a 21-day process that merges neuroscience and the law of assumption. Each rewire helps you to calm the body, retrain the mind, and embody the identity of the woman who already has what she desires. By aligning your nervous system with your new identity, manifestation becomes less about effort and more about embodiment. So, your brain's emotional system, the amygdala and the hippocampus, play a powerful role, you guys, in how you create and receive. So I'm all for, science of mind. I'm all for that, you guys. But I've been learning that also we have to couple our body with the actual with that as well, mind and body. Okay, your mind, that's the spiritual realm of you. Your body, well, that's you. Okay, so your brain's emotional system, the amygdala and the hippocampus, play a powerful role in how you create and receive. The amygdala signals safety or threat. Okay. The amygdala signals safety or threat, while the hippocampus stores emotional memories. When these two work in harmony, your body no longer rejects abundance, love, or success. It welcomes it. So this is really something important to use along with the law of assumption. And so when Neville talks about the state akin to sleep, when your body is at that point, you are able to receive new commands. So the things that you are assuming, right, are not being rejected by your body. And we're going to definitely be talking more about this and dealing more with this. But I just wanted to, introduce it to you guys because your brain is really important in you manifesting, and this will stop you. Okay. It won't stop you from manifesting, but it just won't have you manifesting what you truly desire. I should say that. It's only going to manifest what's safe. Um, so when these two work in harmony, your body no longer rejects abundance, love, or success. It welcomes it. So every time you practice calming your body and recalling positive memories, you rewire your brain to pair safety with expansion. Safety equals permission to grow. So neuroscience explains how energy moves through the brain. The law of assumption explains how it moves through reality. When your nervous system feels safe, being the version of you who has it all, the universe reflects that belief. So your reality will reflect that belief. That's the essence of this practice: regulate, reprogram, and reinforce. Okay, so that's what, and this is actually inside of the School of Invisible Income. It is only women only. Okay, so if you're a man, I'm sorry, I don't actually serve men in the School of Invisible Income. You're welcome to be here, but not inside the school. But it's regulate, reprogram, and reinforce. And inside the community, I have more content where we talk about this, you guys. It's super important. And that's why, if you studied like Joe Dispenza and stuff, meditation, breath work, all those things are for your body. Okay. All those things are for your body. So trying to override and assume things that your body rejects, all right, then a lot of times that's why our manifestations aren't what we really truly desire. We're like, I really want this. I really want this. And your body is saying, I don't think that's safe. Starting a new business, I don't really think that's safe. The government shut down. All these things are happening. All these are going on, right? And so it's like regulating your nervous system, letting yourself know I'm safe and expanding, right? And for me, you guys, if you guys notice me do this a lot, it's because this is my mode. Okay, so when I want to do nervous system regulation for myself, when I want to calm myself down, then a lot of times I'm tapping here on my collarbone, right? So that's kind of my way. I mean, you can do butterfly hugs and stuff like that. I mean, like you can look on YouTube and find there's different people who do content around nervous system regulation, but that's why tapping, you guys, and I this week I was just so like, oh my goodness, now I see why these different things about tapping and stuff, like why do these things matter? Why does breath work matter? Meditation, all these things, you guys, are for your body to connect connect with source, connect with God. Your breath, okay? And when God created man, he breathed into him the breath of life. If you stop breathing, you die. So where is God? In your breath, in every single breath you breathe. And so connecting with your breath is connecting to God. And so Yes. So how do I regulate myself? You can decide, Dakash, right? Like I said, I like tapping. I didn't realize how much, and I like tapping, right? And so you just take, you want to take deep breaths, right? And so usually, and so I even talk about here, you take in deep breaths, like 4 deep breaths in, hold for 2, and let it out for 6, right? So you take a deep breath in, 4 counts for 4 seconds, right? Hold it for 2 seconds, and then let it out in 6 seconds, right? And so that's how you connect with your breath, calm, regulate your nervous system, right? Calm your breathing down, okay? And then now, right? It's almost like you guys, we used to tap babies. I don't know, I'm from the South, okay? And so we always when babies go to sleep, we would tap them, okay? We would tap them to sleep, right? So while you're doing that, right, then you can say some things to yourself. Yeah, I'm safe. I'm safe to expand. I'm loved, I'm cherished, I'm adored, and also get a good memory. Like if you're like thinking about money, think about a time where you someone gave you money or you got money or think about if it's for love, right? Then think about a time where you really felt love. And what I realized, you guys, like, because for me, I'm doing it around love and relationships. Is that it doesn't have to be that you had a time in the past, a romantic relationship. It could be like for me, I'll be honest with you guys, like I think about my dad, right? So for me and my when I'm thinking about a good memory, right? Because I want to imprint a new memory. So I just think about my dad and my dad's hugs and my dad's love for me and how my dad adores me and cherishes me and stuff. And then I'll tap and it's like love feels safe, right? It's okay to be loved. It's okay to be cherished, right? It's okay. Okay. What I do for a living, I'm actually a manager. So I'm actually a sales manager, Dakash. I spent many, many years on the internet, though, teaching women mostly how to make money from home. So I used to go live every single day. I mean, I've grown an audience of like, lots of people. But now I'm actually in management and I manage women. I have a woman team of sales leaders, team of sales people that are actually women. And yeah, and I actually love it. So, but I definitely I do this because I love to teach. It's something I absolutely love to do. I don't do YouTube for money. I just do it because it's the impact that I can actually make in the world, right? Um, and so, yeah, so how can I make money? There's so many ways to make money. That's the thing, right? It's to decide, right? For you to decide, how do you want to make money? Because you can go to YouTube right now and type in how to make money. You can go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT how to make money, right? You can make money with AI right about now. You can do AI photo shoots. You can do you can do just so many ways to make money at this particular time, right? You're gonna get a job and make money, right? So it's not rocket science. Go get a job. One, that's one way to do it, right? Go provide a service. Go find someone who will pay you to bring your skills to their company. And what I like to tell people is that for me, I took my skills that I learned over the internet because I was actually an entrepreneur for 10 years online, right? I took my skills and I just went and partnered with one successful entrepreneur. And now I just provide a service to that entrepreneur. So that's how I look at my job that I do. So I just partner with him. He's already very successful, was willing to pay me the money that I actually wanted, right? And I just partner with one successful entrepreneur and now I provide services for him, right? I have a bachelor's of business in computer information systems. Yeah. So yes, yes. Awesome, you guys. Well, so inside the School of Invisible Income, you guys definitely check out if you're not a part of it. And like I said, if you are a woman, then definitely join the school. It's in the description box of the video. All right. And if you haven't already done so, grab the Power of Awareness. Okay, so grab this book, The Power of Awareness. I got this at like half price books. Okay, the chapters are very short, so you could definitely catch up. Okay, you could definitely catch up with us. I think next week we're going to be on chapter 7, which is attitude. Okay, so chapter 7. Why women? Because I'm a woman. All right. I connect best with, I'm a woman. And so that's who I like to serve. And so that's what I made a decision and I've chosen to do. And I've always done that. Quite honestly, my business majority of the people that I've served over the years have been women. I have served some men as well. I have. But for the majority of it, I've actually only served women. So just my choice, my decision, right? Make a decision. Like whatever you decide is right is right. Okay. And that's why I say with making money, whatever you decide, that's right. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever you decide, it's absolutely right. So okay, you guys, listen, I'm going to rush off of here. It's time for me to go and do lunch. And so I'm going to go and actually have a beautiful lunch. I'm so proud of myself for showing up each and every week. Um, and so hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. Be sure to grab the book, read the book, right? Your attention is everything, right? So your attention, you need to pay attention. So, practice the assignment, practice the exercise that he gave over inside of this actual chapter before you go to sleep at night. Try to rehearse the day, go back through the day and see if you can go back to the day and focus so your attention. Terry, thank you for being here. I didn't know you were here. Beautiful. So focus your attention, right? Each and every night. If you're inside the school, which Terry, I know you're inside the school. I'm going to be releasing this actually. So inside the school, you guys, I'm so excited about the R3 method. Woo! I almost knocked it over. The 3-minute rewire collection or whatever, you guys. Everything I'm learning, I'm just sharing it. Everything that I'm learning, I'm just sharing it with you all so that you can, change your life, right? And it's like, that's what I firmly believe, that income is the effect, identity is the cause, right? And that is my work, right? That's my work. And so I'm just spending the rest of my days talking about that, helping women understand, because she's always manifesting, right? Like she's always manifesting. Now I want to teach women and show them how to be conscious manifestors, right? So this is the work. This is the work. So tomorrow inside the school as well, I am going to be doing a free YouTube class for the School of Invisible Income, right? So sharing with all the ladies how I grew my YouTube channel. So I'm going to go back in the archives and stuff and teach what I know that still works, right, on YouTube, right? And so, and then also share with them what I'm actually doing now to grow my YouTube channel, right? Because my channel is now growing and I'm doing less. I'm honestly doing less than I was doing before, right? But remember what I tell you guys, identity. Identity is the income is the effect. Identity is the cause. I decided to be a woman who has 100,000 YouTube subscribers. So I made a decision on that. So everything in this universe has to get to work. It has to start cooperating and bringing things together and pulling people here and doing this and showing me this and everything. It's got to go to work to bring to me what's required for the fulfillment of my actual desire, because that's law. That's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? I didn't make the rules. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is, right? I assume it to be true. That's the truth for me. I assumed it, right? And I show up, what I'm saying, do the micro actions, going live once a week, right? I assume the identity, Awesome. You guys have a fantastic week. I'll see you guys on class tomorrow. Some of you guys, I'll see you on the Zoom. It's going to be a Zoom that I'm going to do tomorrow. So some of you guys I'll see on the Zoom. Bring your YouTube channel, bring your ideas or whatever. I love to help you however I can. Okay. I will see you guys next time. Next week, you guys. I'll see y'all. Bye.